My mother-in-law tried to ruin my life with false claims, staged a divorce behind my back, tried to use a college fund as leverage, and brought us to court, not knowing her own daughter was about to betray her. Our family was the white picket fence, American wet dream, barbecues on Sundays, homemade lemonade stands, matching family outfits, everything. My wife only had 2 boyfriends before me, and she was my first time for everything. The only caveat was my mother-in-law, because I was from Turkey, and my wife was a full American. My mother-in-law was nasty to me, calling me names like camel jockey or kebab boy. Her witch-like laughter filled the air every time she said those words, as she'd giggle with her friends like it was the funniest thing in the world. And while my wife did initially try to stop her, after a while I told her to give up, because it only made things worse. Plus, I was dating Amy, not her family, so it should have been fine, right? It was this exact thinking that led me and Amy to the bright idea of inviting her family to our Sunday barbecue. It seemed harmless at first. After all, our son Mikey needed to know Amy's side a little more. Things went smoothly at first. Her dad hugged me. Her brother gave us a housewarming gift. But then came her mother. Don't worry, I brought plain hot dogs in case the food's too exotic. Her tone was so sharp, it could have cut a brick in half. But I ignored it and plastered on my well-practiced Hollywood smile. Thank you, before giving her a big hug. I could feel her tense up, and it took everything in me not to laugh right into her ear. Everything started going okay after that. Everyone was laughing. Our plates glistened in the sun like the shell of a tortoise on a beautiful beach. Our bellies were full. But halfway through the barbecue, I noticed my mother-in-law disappeared with Amy for almost an hour. I figured she was just giving one of her "you need to divorce him" speeches, so I ignored it. By the time the barbecue was over, Mikey had received so much attention, he was practically drooling with exhaustion. I knew the barbecue was a success. I still didn't expect a thank you from my mother-in-law, or anything good for that matter. However, on the way out, she exceeded my expectations. It's not too late to start over, her tone half sarcastic with a hint of truth. I remember breathing a deep sigh of relief, thankful this nightmare was finally over. But then later on, as we were tidying up, I asked my wife what that was about. Oh, you know, the usual. I laughed because I knew that was translation for the usual BS. But instead of laughing with me, she stopped what she was doing, went completely still, and just glared. For the first time ever, I saw contempt in my wife's eyes. She looked like an angry principal giving her student a suspension. An awful gut feeling washed over me. But I reminded myself that my wife was probably super tired, and this is how it's manifesting. But the next day rolled around. My wife was completely ignoring me, giving the silent treatment and acting colder than an iceberg towards me. But even that wasn't the worst part. We were watching TV in the evening, and there was a terrorist attack report. My wife turned to me and said, "You'd know all about that, wouldn't you?" Before cackling like she had just said the funniest thing in the world. Up until that point, she was the only lover in my life who hadn't weaponized my foreignness, and that was a huge part of why I felt so safe in the relationship. So when she said that, my heart shattered into a million pieces. I went into the bathroom and teared up, as though I didn't want to admit it. Her words cut me deep, like a sharp knife through butter. I knew her mother had something to do with this. But when I brought this up, she shrugged and said, "I guess my humor's just developing quickly." I took a deep breath. She had never acted this way. I felt more disgusted than hurt. I ended up not seeing her much that week. Not on purpose, just